What's going on, guys? This is Rob, and if you're enjoying the content that I'm uploading onto my channel, then feel free to subscribe, and you can also offer suggestions on topics and characters and storylines and whatnot that we can have discussions on later on in this channel. As we continue our discussion on Marvel characters, we're going to take a step away from earthbound and tangible characters and begin looking more at intangible characters. In this video, we're going to be talking about the cosmic entities of the Marvel Universe.
I just wanna get loose when the beat drops.
So, before we get too far into this video, there are a couple things that we need to line out first. The first thing is that we're not going to be talking about all of the cosmic entities in the Marvel Universe. We're really only going to be talking about these cosmic entities. And the reason for that will become apparent in later videos. Just suffice it to say that these characters play a very important role much later on in our discussions as this channel progresses. The next thing is that you really need to free yourself from the notion of being able to understand the power that people have and being able to rank individuals based on the powers that they have. Because when it comes to Earthbound characters, we can sit down and we can say, well, Magneto is more powerful than Polaris, and Jean Grey is more powerful than Charles Xavier. But in this realm of cosmic entities, while there is a hierarchy to power among these characters, their power is so extreme that for the most part, in their comparison to Earthbound characters, they're all godlike. There really is nothing that Earthbound characters can do for the most part to stop the will of these particular cosmic entities. There are some characters who have extreme powers, but their powers, despite their extreme nature, don't really come close to challenging the upper echelons of some of these cosmic entities. Even the most powerful character in the Marvel Universe, let's say Earthbound character Franklin Richards, is on par with Celestials. But Celestials are among the lowest powered cosmic entities that exist. And we'll talk about that as we progress through this video. So bear in mind that because so little is known about these cosmic entities, there will be some obscurity in this video, and there will be times where I will simply say, that's the only thing I know how to tell you, because there's nothing else known about them. So, when it comes to the universe that we are native to, when it comes to our universe, a lot of these cosmic entities are confined to it. They don't exist outside of our universe. There are two cosmic entities that exist in the realm of all of Marvel, that is to say, the Marvel multiverse as a whole. There is only one of them, and they appear however they choose to among every single universe that could possibly exist or does currently exist. The highest ranking figure, I guess, so to speak, or the most powerful being in all of Marvel is the One Above All. And the One Above All is, for all intents and purposes, God. Now, we do not have a picture of the One Above All depicted here, but that's because the One Above All really kind of appears in different forms based on the circumstances. The One Above All is also a being known as the Fulcrum, or at least it's believed to be that he's a being known as the Fulcrum, which is actually a bartender in this cosmic kind of bar that Eternals go to when they lose their physical form. And it's at the bar that they can either choose to go on to the afterlife, or they can take on a new physical form and reappear somewhere else. The One Above All is depicted in probably my favorite way in Fantastic Four, in one of the Fantastic Four comics. He's actually depicted as Jack Kirby, the artist behind pretty much all of the Marvel characters that we have come to know and love, or at least in the very early days of their designs. There is an instance whereby the Fantastic Four travel to a reality far beyond any known reality that we've ever encompassed. And they actually end up in the art studio of Jack Kirby. And Jack Kirby's working on a comic. And he's actually having a different character replaced with the Silver Surfer. And he gets a phone call from his collaborator. And the Fantastic Four are kind of like, what in the world's going on? You know, what is this? This is just kind of weird. You know, this is craziness. And at that point, Reed Richards' face is disfigured, and Jack Kirby erases the disfigurement with a pencil and redraws it, and Reed Richards' face is back to normal, and they're just kind of like in awe, like, wow, this is absolutely amazing. But for us as readers, it's humorous, and it's a funny thing to look at. It's kind of a funny panel, because it's funny to see, you know, these Marvel characters interacting with their creator, both on the pages and in terms of the Marvel Universe itself, and to be in such awe by the abilities of this creator, and us as readers looking at the acts of Jack Kirby and seeing it as a mundane act, a guy drawing characters and fixing some of the disfigurements that the characters may have because it's simply just what he wants to do. The next person down from the one above all is the Living Tribunal, and depicted here, the Living Tribunal is the being all in gold with a purple cloth over his head. Now the reason why is because the Living Tribunal has three faces. I can't remember exactly what each face stands for. I know one is necessity, I think the other is equity, and the third I think is judgment. And despite the fact that the Living Tribunal exists as a judge in and of itself, the face of judgment is actually a reflection of whoever it is the Living Tribunal is talking to in order to instill the understanding that people should only judge if they wish to be judged themselves. The Living Tribunal sits at the judgment of all realities, and he exists to ensure that all the cosmic laws remain in check, they remain in balance. For example, during the Infinity Gauntlet, there is a point whereby a multitude of cosmic entities come together and ask the Living Tribunal to look upon judgment of Thanos. And the Living Tribunal turns down this judgment and says that no cosmic laws have been broken here. Because one of the most basic cosmic laws is that the weak are replaced with the strong. And if a person is unable to somehow maintain their authority or maintain their control over over what it is that they control, whether it be something as small as an act on the planet Earth or something as grandiose as their control over their particular perception of whatever aspect of the cosmos they represent, then they should be replaced by someone who can. And so the Living Tribunal looked at Thanos and said Thanos was simply going to replace one of the cosmic entities, and there was no cosmic law that was being broken here because it was the natural order of things. And at that point, the Living Tribunal left, and people were just kind of left to their own devices to figure out how to defeat Thanos. It was really kind of a shitty circumstance for a lot of the cosmic entities and Marvel heroes who were involved in that particular endeavor. After the Living Tribunal comes a series comes pretty much all the other cosmic entities that are confined to our universe. Different variations of them exist in other universes, but the ones that we see from here on out are based only in our universe, and they cannot cross over. Now, that's the best of my knowledge. I could be wrong here. The highest ranking person in our universe is Eternity. And Eternity is the representation of everything that there is, of time and space, life and death, order and chaos. He is kind of the embodiment of all the other all the other cosmic entities, although they are still individual beings that can kind of do their own thing. There really isn't anything that he cannot do in terms of our universe. He is, in effect, the one above all, if the one above all were confined to our particular universe and did not exist outside of our universe. The next person after that is the Watcher, and most notably Uatu the Watcher. Uatu the Watcher is a member of a race of beings called the Watchers, and they have incredible power, but much early in the creation of the universe, they took it upon themselves to simply just observe and record, to chronicle the events of the universe as they unfold. And of course, their species will die when the universe dies, and they will be reborn when the universe is born again, although it probably won't be in the same fashion that we see them now. They may take on a different form, or they might be a different race, or they may never become the Watchers. But considering the fact that they are a cosmic entity, they are a fabric, they are a part of the fabric of the universe. So most likely, they will be reborn in a different form when the universe dies and is recreated again. Uatu the Watcher is really kind of special here, and the reason why I say so is because Uatu the Watcher periodically will take a step away from the vow of his race and actually intervene in the actions of a particular group. For example, with the planet Earth. Before the arrival of the Silver Surfer, Uatu the Watcher warns the Fantastic Four of the coming of Galactus and his Herald. And I believe the reason he chose to do that was because of the potential for the planet Earth, and the fact that the planet Earth had the potential to house some of the most powerful characters in Marvel Universe that could exist. And so he kind of felt it incumbent on himself to warn the Fantastic Four of the coming threat so that a effort could be organized in order to fight off Silver Surfer and then eventually fight off Galactus with the help of Silver Surfer. Watcher the Watcher, by the way, is the guy who is depicted right behind Eternity. He has the blue-looking outfit, and he's got the oversized head. The next two people are kind of two sides of the same coin, and you'll hear me repeat that maybe one or two times in this discussion, probably one other time, because a lot of times what you find in cosmic entities is that they are of one ideology, but they represent that ideology in two different ways. In this instance, it's Master Order and Lord Chaos. And these are the characters who are depicted right behind the Living Tribunal in the center. The guy with the bald head and the guy with the weird looking kind of purple head. These are characters who represent chaos and order. Chaos being the most extreme degree, that is to say, no order whatsoever. Things just happen, there's no reason behind it, it just takes place, and there's no way to really kind of understand it. Order is the most strict adherence to order. There is no room for adjustment, there's no room for expansion and growth. It's a very rigid way of organizing things. And of course, neither can exist in the extreme. They represent balance. If order were to exist in the extreme, then the universe would eventually just kind of destroy itself. It'd be kind of at a point where it just couldn't exist because nothing new could come into fruition. It would just be a very stringent way. If chaos existed in the extreme, then the universe would inevitably destroy itself by the sheer fact that there would be no order to it, there would be no structure. Things would get so out of hand that there would be no way to confine them, and everything would just kind of come to an end. Now, because of the fact that those two cannot exist in extremes, there has to be a balance between the two of them. And they actually came together and formed a being called the In-Betweener. And the In-Betweener exists in order to make sure that balance exists in the universe. Now, the next two people are, again, two sides of the same coin. And this is I believe the being Mistress Love and Sire Hate. Now, these are the characters next to Galactus, the woman who looks like, or who has blonde hair and a pink outfit, and then the woman who is all in blue and looks like a female Apocalypse. They are kind of the emotional embodiment of love and hate, and they represent those exact two things. All the love and hate that exists throughout the cosmos are embodied by these two characters. And because of that, of course, they can manipulate all facets of love and hate. They can inspire love and hate in any particular being, so long as that being doesn't supersede their particular powers. Now, of course, we see Galactus. And the reason why Galactus is considered to be a cosmic entity is for a couple reasons. One, he again is kind of a reflection of balance, but balance in terms of the universe not spiraling out of control and kind of spiraling out into overpopulation, so to speak. Galactus, due to the fact that he is a being composed of pure energy, travels from one planet to the other and feeds on the energy of those planets in order to feed himself, in order to ensure that he survives. And it is in this form that he differentiates from cosmic entities in a few different ways. When it comes to the cosmic entities, they are amoral. They have no care about what goes on in the realm of the Marvel Universe. All they do is exist to ensure that their roles are played out. Galactus displays periodically a guilt over consuming the life of countless civilizations and bringing them to a total end. And he really kind of detests his existence in the way that it is, but understands that his role is a necessity in the universe. At the same time, he actually has a physical form. When it comes to the cosmic entities, they have no real physical form, with the exception of maybe the Celestials, but that's kind of up for debate. Galactus is tangible. He can be touched, he can be punched, he can be destroyed, or in the instance of Marvel Zombies, he can be consumed. The form that he takes on here is really a form that is most suitable to him and most, conservative for the amount of energy that he needs in order to maintain himself. This is really a way for him to channel his energies in a way that regulate his body, but keep him from consuming energy unnecessarily. Now, below Galactus, we see two beings that are kind of shrouded in shadow, and they look kind of weird, maybe like Transformers or something. These are Celestials. And Celestials, again, are at the bottom tier of cosmic entities. They are extremely weak compared to virtually all the other cosmic entities that we see, aside from maybe Galactus. These Celestials are really kind of responsible, or at least it's believed they're responsible, for the creation of mutant kind. And of course, as we discussed in our video with Apocalypse, they had granted Apocalypse their power, and Apocalypse had used this power under the agreement that in the future, a price would have to be paid. Future payments, I think, is how they referred to it. And of course, they took Apocalypse away, and Apocalypse, of course, came back. But they are an extremely advanced kind of alien, so to speak, and they kind of exist as a hybrid. They kind of exist in between. You could consider them to be an extremely advanced alien race, or you could consider them to be a construct of the universe itself and a necessity. I do not know that much about Celestials in terms of their existence in the Marvel Comics, so I can't really give you much more information than that. I'm sure information is out there to be read, I simply just don't know that off the top of my head. The next person that we see is the guy who kind of looks like Silver Surfer, but is composed of clouds and I guess stars and different things like that and planets. This, of course, is Kronos, and he is the master of time. He can manipulate all facets of time. He can stop time, he can slow time. I imagine he can probably even bring time to an end if he chose to. And this is where things get kind of hairy, because time and space, of course, kind of coexist. And so to bring an end to time would be to bring an end to the universe itself. And I doubt he could do that, since he can't simply control the universe in and of itself. With regards to these cosmic entities, these are pretty much the limit to the discussion that we're going to have. And again, it's important that you take a step away from the idea of relating to these beings based on the abilities of what they can do, based on their power, on who they can manipulate, what they can do, and how they can manipulate those powers. Because when it comes to the power of these characters, it gets very, very muddled, and it gets very, very cloudy. And aside from maybe Eternity, the One Above All, or the Living Tribunal, there really isn't a hierarchy in terms of who is stronger than who. There really isn't a comparison here. Each of them has a power within their own right, although it's possible that they can destroy another being. Now, when I say that we're kind of ending the discussion on the cosmic entities here, you may have noticed that I left out one character. And the character that I left out here is the Stranger. And he's the older guy with the green cloak and the red outfit and the white hair. The Stranger is something that I know nothing about, and no one does. The Stranger is an enigma to everyone. No one knows how he got here, no one knows where he's from, no one knows what his purpose is. He's just here, and he's just this incredibly, astronomically powerful character, and he really seems like one of these guys that was just classified as a cosmic entity due to the amount of power that he has, and the fact that no one knows anything about him. And so that's it. That's pretty much it. I don't know what to tell you about the Stranger. I don't know enough about him. If there is information out there, I don't know enough about him to be able to tell you what it is. I just know that periodically he shows up. He shows up in the comics when Thanos captures, or I guess when he combines with the heart of the universe. He shows up during the Infinity Gauntlet. He may even show up a few other times, but for the most part, I don't really know that much about him. So, again, keep this conversation in the back of your head. Keep these characters in the back of your head, because they are going to become very, very important much later on as we progress through future discussions in this channel. And I will say, although you've probably figured it out already, I will say that these characters are all involved in the Infinity Gauntlet. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and bring this video to an end. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, let me know, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.